Watching season 2 of Blue Lock made me realize that a story can save an anime no matter how bad the animation gets. Most of you know that the animation in Blue Lock season 2 is pretty bad, especially when you compare it to season 1. A good example of this is Bachira's dribbling. In season 1, the animators did a really good job when it came to animating Bachira's dribbling scenes. But in season 2, instead of animating it, they use CGI. I feel like most people will agree with me when I say that the reason Blue Lock is still one of the most watched animes this season is because of its story. I mean, the Blue Lock manga was the best-selling manga of 2023. I feel like if an anime has a really good story, people are willing to look past bad animation. Let's use Ninja Kamui as an example. Ninja Kamui is kinda similar to Blue Lock but without a second season, and I'll explain what I mean. In the first half of Ninja Kamui, they animated all of the fight scenes, right? And in the second half, they started using CGI, especially for important fights. They used CGI for two important fights, one when Higan had to fight his rival, and the second one was when he had to fight his former master. Those fight scenes looked like a PSP game. But even with that, I feel like even if the anime used CGI, if it had a great story, people would be willing to look past it. The story was pretty bad. It started off great and then it went downhill. It was a revenge story. Higan's former master killed his family because he betrayed the ninja clan. The whole point of this anime is about being a ninja. In the first half of the anime, Higan would use ninja techniques against his enemies. It's literally in the name, Ninja Kamui. That was until the second half came and they introduced mecha suits. The anime went from ninjas to cyborgs. This is one of the reasons why most people disliked the anime. Because it started with one thing and then it changed completely. The story started off with a 5 out of 10 and it dropped to a 2 out of 10. Like I said in the beginning, it's similar to Blue Lock. It started off great but it fell in the animation department and they started using CGI. But the difference between it and Blue Lock is Blue Lock had a great story. And I believe if Ninja Kamui had a better story, people would look past it. Let's use another anime that has a revenge story. Demon Slayer. Most people like to say that the only thing carrying Demon Slayer is the animations, but I disagree. Now it's true that Demon Slayer doesn't have a unique story. It's not a 10 out of 10, but I would rate it a 7 out of 10. It's a good story. Not only does the anime look amazing, it has a good story, and that's why people continue to watch it. Another anime, Dandadan. The episode with the murder, most people talked about that episode not because of the animation but because of the story. We get anime every year and sometimes the animes don't always look the best. But people still talk about some animes because they enjoyed the story. Friends Beyond Journey's End, The Apothecary Diaries, Attack on Titan, Golden Kamuy, Vinland Saga, just to name a few. All of these animes have an amazing story. Most of you probably heard the phrase, I have no enemies, and that came from Vinland Saga. Yes, all of these animes had great animation, but that was just the cherry on top. Story will always be better than animation in my opinion. Having an anime that has great animation but a bad story is like having a golden garbage bag with garbage inside of it. But having an anime with an amazing story but bad animation is like having a garbage bag with $1 million inside of it. Yes, a golden garbage bag may look better than a regular garbage bag, but one has more value. Because at the end of the day, I would rather watch something that's really interesting but looks mid than something that looks amazing but it's really boring. And older animes really showed us this. Take Dragon Ball Z for example. When Goku turned Super Saiyan for the first time, it was one of the best moments in anime history. And back then we didn't have the best animations. Compared to now, we have better technology. But it was never about the animations back then. It was about the build-up, the situation, the music, basically the story leading up to Goku turning into a Super Saiyan. Like I said, back then the animators didn't have the technology they have now. But that didn't matter to us because the story was so good that we were willing to look past it. At the end of the day, all I'm saying is that the story should be the main priority when it comes to making a manga or an anime. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.